Welcome everyone to a brilliant battle between Khorne, led by von Carstein from the Extreme Meme team, going up against Grand Cathay. So for the Grand Cathay build, we are going to have 3 units of the Jade Warriors in the front, double of the Jade Warrior Halberds, 1 on either flank, and a single unit of the Peasant Long Spearmen. 2 units of the Peasant Horsemen in the backside, 1 unit of the Jade Lancers as well, really bringing that armoured roadblock, and then for the main pocket, quite a lot of range. So we are going to be having Peasant Archers as the cheaper units, 2 very expensive units here of the Celestial Dragon Crossbows, 1 expensive unit of the Crane Gunners, a Grand Cannon, and a unit of the Jade Warrior Crossbows. Now, one thing I would say for any new players, this is far too much range to protect with such little and cheap infantry and cavalry. Now, in the sky, we are going to be having the Lord Choice. The Lord Choice here is going to be having the Jade Amulet, as well as the Arcane Conduit, the Power of Yin, the Ancestral Warriors, and the Storm of Shadows. So a very interesting build here. I think this is going to struggle, but we'll have to see as the battle goes on. So we are going to have Chaos Warhounds over on the right hand flank. 1 unit of the Fleshhounds, very powerful indeed. They'll actually beat Jade Lancers even if the Jade Lancers get the charge here on the Warhounds. Warhounds here, 2 more on the right hand side. And for the main battle line, I'm so excited. Extreme Meme team indeed. We are going to be having double of the Skull Crushers of Khorne. These bad juggernauts are so goddamn powerful. 130 armor, bronze shields, anti-large armor piercing with 77 charge bonus, including immune to psychology. It's so goddamn powerful. We're also going to be having the Blood Crushers of Khorne in the backside. These juggernauts as well, anti-infantry, armor piercing, physical resistance, and the Hellblades. So when they get exhausted, which cavalry does very quickly, they're going to be getting those bonuses in the melee department. In the middle, we are going to have a Cultists of Khorne on horseback here with the Gate of Khorne, and then 2 more here. As you can see, the Blood Crushers and the Skull Crushers. For the Lord Choice on a Juggernaut, we're going to be having the Herald of Khorne here with the Revelwind Slaughter, the Hellblade, and then also the Locust of Wrath. So it looks like here we're going to be going full Rohirrim as Khorne, which we very rarely see, but is very exciting indeed. Heavy metal here getting shoved down the throat of Grand Cathay to see how they deal with it. So you can see charging forward here, get a bit of a skip on. And I think this is a little bit unnecessary. We see the Cultists taking quite a bit of damage here in the front line. Cannon's going to be firing in. We can see the crossbows here. The Jade Warrior is going to be firing amongst the Blood Crushers. They'll do some pretty decent damage on the approach, but I think here with the Cultists, we certainly could have gone through the trees and negated some of that damage incoming. So we see the snipers here not really doing too much. I think most of the Jade Warrior is going to be compromising. Plus also a little bit of a position thing here for new players. We can actually see we got the snipers here. They really need line of sight. And if we go down here, there's a ginormous hill in the way. So these snipers are pretty pointless. There's really not much they can shoot here on the battlefield. You definitely wanted a position where you had them on the high ground and they could have learnt from Obi-Wan Kenobi. So in the middle, we are going to be having the Cultist. He's going to charge into combat. Wouldn't mind seeing him maybe compromising the Crane Gunners or shutting down the Peasant Archers or maybe even the Jade Warrior Crossbows. Now, so he's going to dive in there. He's a very good single entity, very powerful. He'll stop these bad boys from shooting. So lovely work there. We can see the gap in the middle. We're going to be pouring through into the middle up against the Crane Gunners. Nice work there coming from the Blood Crushers. These bad boys are going to demolish the Crane Gunners. That's going to be 1,000 gold down the drain in a matter of seconds. Really good stuff. Going to be surrounded here. Getting caught a little bit by the Jade Warrior Halberds, but the Skull Crushers coming around the corner. And we can see here the charge of the Fleshhounds actually going to be beating down on the Jade Lancers. We actually have Warhounds as well fighting. Not brilliant, but I much prefer them in domination. So Fleshhounds in the back, they're going to be clearing out Peasant Horsemen like they don't even exist. And we do see the heavily armoured Skull Crushers. They're going to be finishing off the Peasant Long Spearmen. In the middle, the Celestials are going to be getting surrounded here by heavy metal. And of course, they're not very good in melee combat. They're not terrible, but they're not very good up against this heavy armour. In the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4 units of range here going to be breaking, including the Grand Cannon. We are going to be firing with the Peasant Archers, but smartly here, von Carstein has just kind of ignored them. They're not really worth it. You need to shut down all the elite stuff with this mass AP. In the middle, the Blood Crushers of Khorne going to be fighting here up against the crossbows. They're going to be deleting them extremely quickly, and the Halberds are just so slow here to get to the battlefield. One's going to be out there on the right, one here on the left, trying to charge forward. We actually see the Blood Crushers getting away here, maybe even just breaking down some more Peasant Long Spearmen. And the one nice thing here about the Blood Crushers, when you're going to be pushing them off, you can actually get kills here for the Hellblade. They're only 4 away. Go over, get a cheap couple of kills, and then really buff that weapon strength. The Lord Choice is going to come over. We do actually see the Cultists charging into the backside here. Going to try and compromise as many of the Jade Warrior Halberds as possible. The Sun's actually going to be on top. I'd actually like seeing it in front. You can see they're definitely trying to push here up against the Blood Crushers. In the back, the Peasant Archers are going to be shooting, but there's really not much for them to fire upon. Actually, the best target is actually going to be the Flesh Hounds, so really good work there. We can see the gold of these Blood Crushers. You can see getting those weapon stats indeed up to 72 anti-infantry armor piercing. Very nice stuff indeed. And now we actually get the Ancestral Warriors in the pocket. Anti-large armor piercing with magical attacks, making them very powerful here up against the Flesh Hounds. So the Celestial Dragon Crossbow still going to be firing in the pocket, but now they are going to be getting compromised. Balance apparently is even, but I think that is a little bit deceptive. We do see here the Herald of Khorne is going to be fighting amongst the Jade Warriors. He's going to be up there in kills, 27 so far. Not quite at that magical 80, but we are going to see the Flesh Hounds just roaming around at 95 speed. It's just going to be, collapsing on these Peasant Archers. And look at that, charging forward here with Khorne in his heart. Fury! Blood for the Blood God, and skulls for the Skull Throne here for the Cultist as he dives into glorious combat, trying to prove himself here to become bigger, better, and more powerful. Now we do see the Dragon Lord goes down a little bit late here for me, but he's going to be fighting and clearing out some of the Warhounds. Now we do see here the Skull Crushers charging across the battlefield, looking rather healthy here. Two of them are going to be leaping and bounding up against the Peasant Archers. And we do unfortunately see the Blood Crushers. They are going to be dwindling back to the realms of Khorne, where they can regather themselves and hopefully come back bigger, better, and stronger. In the middle, I'm not too sure what this is going to be. This might be the core. Oh, that's a lovely. I don't see that very often. But the Khorne ability there, the third faction effect, is so goddamn powerful. You hit it just right, it really can delete a lot of units. Halberds are going to be the last remaining unit. I think this is certainly the way to do it. But of course, they're going to be your main counter to the build. That's pretty much going to be a 4-0 hero in charge. So actually dealing with these last is really, really smart. There's now no support. Crossbows are going to be dwindling. It's actually going to be one unit of the Celestial Dragon Crossbows in the back. But here we go. We actually have the Warhounds. They can get around the corner and certainly shut these down. We need to shut them down quickly, that's for sure. The Lord Choice is also going to be leading the charge here with the Warhounds. These bad boys, and I think these Celestial Dragon Crossbows aren't quite prepared. They do turn, they do fight, but the Warhounds are ravenous. And they're hungry. They're going to get in here, start tearing the flesh off of these Celestial Dragon Crossbows. The Lord Choice with that Hellblade is now going to be going nom nom nom. I want some of those kills. I want to get my Hellblade up and ready to go. We do see Jade Warrior Halberds coming across. They're far too slow here to traverse the battlefield. We do see here the Skull Crushers charging forward, deleting a lot of the Jade Warriors. Halberds just kind of a little bit lost here in the pocket. Not too many places to call home. I would definitely take the Herald here to fight up against the Lord Choice. With one nice big swoop, you could actually get maybe a bit of a flinch animation, and then you can start attacking. Oh, very nice overcast there. The Storm of Shadows overcast is trying to slow down as many units as possible. That is actually going to be down to 28 speed, but of course the charge bonus is going to keep him going, and now we're fighting. The Lord Choice does really not want to be here. He's going to get taken down rather quickly. That's going to be 450 armor-piercing weapon strength dawning on the back doorstep here of the Dragon-Blooded Lord. In the middle, we are going to see the Skull Crushers clearing out some of the crossbows. This is going to be a disgusting rear charge. Oh no! The Elite Dragon Crossbows are going to be depleted here very quickly. And you can see the Blood Crushers coming across. Those Hellblades are going to be shimmering in the night sky as they fight here up against the Jade Warrior Halberds. They stand no chance up against this fury and carnage. And there's going to be all sorts of juggernauts just tearing heads off, limbs, anything they can get their big ginormous metal teeth into, and they're just going to be clearing out these Jade Warriors. The Lord Choice gets to the sky, but well, it's an interesting fight. I don't know if I take this here alongside all this cavalry. What's this going to be? This is going to be a Storm of the Shadows upgrade. It is going to slow them, but I think we could get the surround here. Juggernaut's going to be everywhere. The Lord Choice is in there. I think that's GG's well played. Very good surround there coming from Von Carstein, and Extreme Ming is certainly on the cast today. A very, very nice build indeed. Jade Warrior Halberds are going to try their best. They're going to get some good value, but I think that is going to be the end of the day. The hero is going to be clearing out. We do see some of the Sword and Shield coming back. Some of the Jade Warrior Crossbows are still going to be firing. They're going to break and shatter. The Lord Choice is going to go down. GG's and well played. Really nice build here coming from the XMT legend. Von Carstein certainly always brings some fun ones for sure. 750 there for the Herald with 360 for the Cultist. He still got shot a lot in the beginning. He definitely would have done a lot more had it, since he hadn't taken so much damage off the rip. But we saw here 177 kills, 1,100 from the Skull Crushers, 800 with 112 kills there for the Skull Crushers. And would you look at this? 293 kills, 2,165 damage value. These Blood Crushers certainly pay for themselves. 1,350 there for the Blood Crushers with 1.3 for the Flesh Hounds, 566 as well as 580 with 213 there for the Chaos Warhounds with 208 as well. So very, very good stuff. I would have actually maybe liked to see maybe an item or two drop from the Herald, maybe bring in the Regiment of Renown. It would have been so nice to see what they did here. Their Blazing Immolation would be very good at reducing flame damage here, maybe on some of these bad boys, and just watching them shred through some of this heavily armoured infantry would have been awesome. But 580 there for the Dragon-Blooded Lord of Yin, with 1,700 and 700 for the Celestial Dragon Crossbows. Very, very good stuff. 420 there for the Peasant Long Spearmen. Even in this matchup, Peasant Long Spearmen can do a phenomenal job. Fleshhounds, Chaos Warhounds, they can still do a bit of a number. They also have Charge Reflection, so they can actually do some pretty decent damage here, even up against heavily armoured cavalry. We can see 420, 540, 500 from the Jade Warriors. Halberds coming in at 480, 630 as well. Crossbows 260, 180 there for the Crane Gunners, 660 for the Grand Cannon, with 530 for the Jade Lancers, 355 and 240 there for the Peasant Horsemen. So 81, 140 and 150 there for the Peasant Archers. You can see really not bringing much to the battlefield. I probably would have brought maybe some Jade Warrior crossbows instead, or maybe something that brings some more armor piercing. I don't think you need this much range, but certainly something that maybe is more elite, good armor piercing, a little bit more focused, might have been a little bit better. Some more infantry to protect it, and maybe, just maybe, you could have dragged down this amazing Khorne force. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please smash that like button. Feel free to leave a comment down below and subscribe if you haven't already.